Hi, I'm Jackie Baker with Coldwell Banker. Thanks so much for watching my channel today. A couple of episodes ago, we had talked about ways to get your house sold quickly and to get top dollar. And one of those ways is to declutter your house. So today we have a special guest that's going to share some tips on ways to take the stress out of decluttering your home. So today we have a special guest, Jean Marie Herron of POSSE Partners. She's also a certified professional organizer. And she's going to share some tips today on how to declutter your home and taking the stress out of that. So as I said, we had done an episode a couple weeks ago helping people prepare their home to be sold. And I just wanted to hear what you had to say when you go into somebody's home who's getting ready to sell. What are some ways to take that stress out, to deal with that daunting task of decluttering?
Excellent, because as you know, selling the home is very stressful on most people, and a lot of our clients are overwhelmed and paralyzed, and it's very highly charged emotionally. So the first thing I like to tell my clients is let's develop some sort of an action plan, which would be external memory. So getting your home ready for market is really project management, it's time management. So I like to take our clients out to the front yard and I tell them put on the eyes of a prospective buyer, and we write a list, and they can do this themselves. They can have a professional organizer help them, but basically what you're doing, whether you use paper or go digital, is you start at your front curb and you pretend you've never lived there. And if you were looking to buy that home, what would you see? And you write a list, everything you see at the front porch, everything when you step into the foyer, each bedroom, living room, dining room, kitchen, and you write a master list now of projects that need to get done and things that don't belong. And we like to tell our clients, pretend you're moving, because even though they're selling their home, the next step is to move. And when you sell a home, everything has to be left in broom swept condition. So you get everything out of your head and onto paper, and once it's on paper, it's much more manageable. It becomes, task oriented, and then you can decide, who's gonna do what, who's gonna be responsible, and you can figure out the resources that you need. And definitely never be afraid to ask for help. But once you have this action plan, if you will, and the extended memory is out of your head because there's so much to think about when you put your home up for sale, you can look at a calendar. And I love to say calendars count, and you wanna work backwards from your goal. So if you want your open house 6 months from now, well, let's take a look at that list. What needs to be done in 6 months? So what are we gonna do each month? What are we gonna do each week of the month? What are we gonna do every day? And you start to chunk it down, and then it's like an elephant. It becomes bite-sized pieces.
Right.
And that really helps to stress people, take a lot of the oh my gosh, how am I gonna do it all? Because you see individual steps, and then you can figure out with the calendar, again, when am I gonna do this? When am I gonna do that?
Exactly. I think that's the easiest way to go about it, right? Break it down, even room by room. Break it down, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So that list would be room by room. So you come in the front door, and whatever room you see there, kitchen, dining room, office, master bedroom, and you write down everything you'd want to declutter. And besides the decluttering, of course, if there's any repairs or anything that you see that's odd that needs to be taken care of before you put the house on the market, because everybody wants a turnkey home at this point. So you really want to do all the work and all the decluttering beforehand, so that your prospective buyer says, this house is ready. I don't need to do anything. I can just move in. I don't have to pay anybody to do anything.
Exactly, because it's all about how the buyer is going to look at the house, right? And they want to visualize the space, and they want to visualize themselves living in that space.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
that's one of the easiest things to do. And there's so many decisions to be made. So when you put together an action plan, because we all have hundreds and thousands of items in our home, and when you get ready to sell and then move, everything needs to come out eventually. So if you're gonna go through the process of decluttering, might as well go through everything now. And we're in our homes for years, sometimes decades. And you could open up the side drawer in a coffee table, and there could be 75 things in that coffee table. And a lot of people have extra furniture too. And you really don't have to show a lot in a home to clarify the rooms, especially for the photographs on the internet. So as long as your rooms are clearly defined and clean, neat, and tidy, that's really how you're gonna make all that extra money, and you won't have the negotiating factor at the end because the home is ready.
Exactly.
And you have to do it anyways. It needs to be done. But decision making is very important. So when I go through a home with our clients, I'll ask, maybe I see a huge media collection, and maybe that's the love of their life, but when they're selling their home, a lot of that media needs to go away. And we sometimes have to figure out the resources and the decision. So is that media going with them? If so, maybe we can pack it up now and store it in a place where nobody's going to see it. But sometimes some of the resources and the decisions could include donating things, selling things, maybe having some sort of family deadline where the family comes in and they take, according to the homeowners, whatever they want to give away. So you want to start thinking about what kind of decisions you're going to make. And if they happen to know where they're going next and they know the size of the next home, it's easier to make decisions. Not everybody does. But if they know what type of space they have in the next home, it's easier to start to get rid of things now.
Exactly. All right. So just curious, how did you get into, what made you want to become a professional organizer?
Well, it was actually my husband. We had gotten married a little on the later side and started a family and decided that while the children were young, I would stay home, but when they were school age, I would go back to work. And he said, you know what, Jean Marie, you should become a professional organizer because whether you're at work, whether you're at home, you're always organizing people, places, events, times, spaces. And I found NAPO, which is the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals, took a few classes and decided this was definitely it for me. And I started Posse 15 years ago now. And about 10 years ago, I fell in love with the real estate industry. I loved everything that revolved around getting a home ready to sell. It was such an opportunity for the homeowners because they could, declutter, but then it was exciting for them to sell and move to a fresh space. And I started working a lot on what I call whole home decluttering. So all of my clients were looking for me to do the entire house. And sure enough, I learned very quickly that the more you declutter, the more money your client's going to make.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Because it's at the end, it's all about helping them too. Like that's why I got into the business too. It's all about helping people achieve that goal of getting to their next place or their first time buyers too. Like in my case, I'm working with first timers, but selling the home is just so stressful. And having gone through that, I just felt like, I wanted to help them just like you. And you want to come in, you want to help them get through that monumental task, right?
Absolutely.
Organizing and decluttering.
Yes.
So, well, good for you, because
thank you.
You obviously are doing well.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you, Jean Marie, so much for being here today and giving a professional organizer's view of how you can declutter your home and the way the home should appear when you're getting ready to sell it. So where can everybody find you?
Okay, thank you, Jackie, for having me. My website is POSSEPartnersLLC.com, and I can also be phoned at 201-406-9643. I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn. Call me anytime. A lot of this information is actually on my blog, so if you go to POSSEPartnersLLC.com, you can find all of this information on my blog.
I'm Jackie Baker with Coldwell Banker, serving the Bergen County area. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Jackie Baker Realtor. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.